The only story I heard was I have some friends who know a reporter who was with the Cheneys and said, "Have you not seen the trailer?" And they were like, "No." And I showed them the trailer. And apparently they laughed really hard. They liked it a lot. But if you see the trailer, it makes sense. It makes Dick Cheney look like he's the coolest guy in the world. And Cheney's comment was, "Well, that movie about that fish lady can win. Maybe this can win." For real. It is true.
But okay, but you were telling me before that at the premiere for this movie you met someone who's in it, right?
Well, this is really strange. So we finished the premiere and I walk out, you're saying hi to 1,000 people, and someone hits me on the shoulder, and I turn, and there's a guy there, kind of portly, shorter guy, who's like, "I'm Frank Luntz." And I'm like, "Jesus," and I can tell right away it's Frank Luntz. And he goes, "You know what's crazy? That death tax moment, I really did do a double thumbs up." I swear to God, this is actually totally true. And there was like a pause between us, and I just said, "That's awful." And he was like, "Yeah, whatever." And I was like, really the work you did on global warming is like really the thing that like you have a talent, you should reverse that, like really do work against that. And he was kind of like, "Yeah, maybe. Anyway, it's good to see you." Like, you could tell he had no comprehension of the impact of his work. But then I love the fact that we have the actor in the movie do the double thumbs up, and Luntz actually did that. Amazing.
Well, the interesting thing about the movie is I do feel like the way you present everything, I mean, it is a movie that somebody could like, even if it's completely what you're against. And I'm curious for you, what the starting point was for all of this. I mean, what made you want to make a movie about Dick Cheney? When did you decide you were going to do it? What appealed to you about him?
Well, I had finished, we had finished The Big Short, and it was like March, so we had done the whole movie, the kind of award stuff, and then of course, as your body does, I got really sick. My body was finally like, "Oh great, we can finally have the flu." And so I was kind of laid out, and also in those moments, I think we've all done this, you look at your bookshelf, and you look at like the books people have given you, and you're like, "All right, what am I going to read?" And a friend of mine, a writer in town, Cindy Campanera, had given me a book about Cheney, like 8 months before, so I just pulled it out and started reading it. And what dawned on me was like, wow, the door of history, at least for this period, is about to close on this guy. Like, all the books have been written about it. We've talked about it. There's clearly no investigation into what they did. And that's it. This is the end of the Cheney chapter. And then, in the middle of that run, there was a TMZ video. I'm not kidding. Of Cheney in an SUV, and a TMZ paparazzi went up to him and was like, "Hey, Dick," and he was like, "Hey," and they were kind of laughing with each other. I was like, "This is fucking weird, man. Like, you're treating him like he's Tom Bosley or Conrad Bain, and the guy killed nearly 1 million people. Like, this is very strange." And so it just hit me, like the iris out of history is about to hit Dick Cheney, and that's it. He's walking away from all of this. And then I just got intrigued, and I started ordering books off Amazon, and I read everything. I read, Jane Mayer, I read Ron Suska, I mean, every Barton Gellman, every writer you can imagine. And then I went to the articles, and the deeper I was digging, I was just blown away by the degree to which this guy understood Washington, D.C. and the levers of power. And then I was also blown away by the fact that Lynn Cheney is really kind of Dick Cheney. I mean, she's really the wind in the sails of Dick Cheney. And then that betrayal of the daughter in the end, I was like, it's kind of an American tragedy. I mean, this guy, more than anyone you could name, is kind of the face of the modern Republican Party. And I think back to your point about why some Republicans have no problem with it is because they won. They did it. They pulled it off. I mean, the Reagan Revolution worked. They figured out messaging. We show it in the movie. They had those right-wing think tanks, the death tax, all that stuff worked really, really well. To the point where even the Democrats, like Bill Clinton and to some degree Obama, they would push them to the right. And So yeah, I've always said, if you're a Republican and you watch this movie, why would you have a problem with it? So yeah, that was the moment though, when I really started hitting me. I was about 4 or 5 books in. I was like, this is crazy. And knowing that we were about to end our discussion, like clearly Obama did not investigate, the war crimes during this period. And I understand why not. I mean, politically, there's no benefit, but I just thought, this is nuts that this guy can just, and John Yoo, the torture lawyer, teachers at Berkeley, and all these people are just like, hey, what's up? Like, eating hot dogs and walking around. It really reminded me of the movie, one of my favorite movies ever, The Act of Killing.
Yes.
It is a great, great movie, and it just kept making me think of that, and like the idea that like you can get through this, you can do these horrors, and then the next question was, who the hell is this guy? Where did he come from? How do you do these things and just motor on with your life? And once I dug into that, I realized there was an American story there.
Well, and how did you dig into that? Because he is so secretive. I mean, who are some of your, did you have sources other than the books and the articles, and what kind of other research did you have to do?
We did. I mean, we read everything out there. I compared it to radio telescopy, where it's like, there are just certain things you're never going to know about Dick Cheney. He will never give you any emotion. His biography is the most boring thing you have ever read. It's like instructions on how to put together a Cuisinart. I mean, and so you really have to triangulate everything. And so that's what we did. We dug in, and the key was that we had a journalist that was working with us who went and interviewed dozens of people off the record. Yeah, we had to do it off the record. So we would kind of figure stuff out through all the great writing of all these amazing journalists. God bless journalists. So many. It's really true. I mean, without them, without these people really like kind of tracking this guy down, who everyone knew was secretive, there's no way we even get to where we were here. So we were doing all of that. We were drawing kind of assumptions. I was like, well, it had to be this. And then our reporter went out and spoke to people off the record, and we started hearing like, if anything, we're being conservative. Like that was the response we got from the people he was talking to. So that was amazing to hear the real truth. One of the biggest things we heard from our journalist was that everyone in Casper, Wyoming, to this day, still says, no matter who Lynn Cheney Vincent would have married, they would have been president or vice president, that it was her. And that was also a hard thing with this script, too, the fact that the first act really isn't Dick Cheney's first act, it's Lynn Cheney's first act. And, you can look at Sid Field and McKay, and you can say that just breaks every rule there is. And I had friends of mine saying, you gotta make it Cheney's first act. I'm like, it's not. It's Lynn's first act. She's the one who, they're kind of one and the same. So, yeah, those interviews were hugely important to putting this movie together.
Well, speaking of like breaking storytelling rules, I mean, I love this new form of kind of journalistic comedy you've created with this in The Big Short, where you're dealing with things that are generally historically accurate, but you're breaking the fourth wall. You have things like Alfred Molina coming in. You have the thing that halfway through where all of a sudden the end credits start, all that kind of stuff. And I'm curious how difficult it is. Like, what's the sort of trial and error of figuring out which of those things work and when you're going too far with the self-consciousness? Because it seems to me like it must be a really difficult balance to strike.
Well, this movie was really, really hard because you have these incredible grounded performances. I think the center of this movie are the performances. I think it's a character study first and foremost. I think that's what movies can do, books can't do, documentaries can't do, and I think that's why we made the movie. However, I really feel like there's a gulf between, and I'm kind of a blank slate in the sense that when I learn this stuff, I get very excited. Like, I didn't know that Roger Ailes worked in the Nixon White House and actually pitched conservative news. So when I read that, I was like, holy shit. And I run out of the room and I tell my wife, did you know this? And she's like, whatever. Good. So I get very excited about this stuff. And my theory is that the techniques of pop culture, the techniques of presentation with big graphics and funny things are used a lot of the time to sell us products. They're used to get us excited about things that are really not important. And so our idea is like when I, as a kind of, in my office as a sweaty geek, get excited about something, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna use that. And the Alfred Molina thing is a great example. I mean, if I had shown that in documents or had a lawyer, it would have been a snooze, but when you really hear that list of stuff they did, it's unbelievable. And I think it's perfectly legit to have Alfred Molina, one of the most charming actors ever, read it as something that we all love, a menu. And so that all comes from my kind of geeky enthusiasm when I'm discovering it. Like once I saw that list and I talked to a bunch of lawyers, I'm like, is this real? And they're like, oh yeah. I was like, holy shit. You know, we want to kind of pump it with that excitement.
Well, I'm also curious, you have that great focus group scene in the movie, and I'm curious, in terms of this movie, did you test screen it, did you focus group it, and what did you learn from that? I mean, how did they respond to some of the sort of, crazier narrative devices like the end credits thing in the middle? I mean, did people actually respond